match Martin's and David's about how she emanated the love of Christ.
Amen.
And I'm sorry, but I tell people that she raised Robin and I, because David said he first met her in 74, and I first met her in 72. Was it 70?
It was a year before Lynn and I got married, when I
Right.
was sitting there at the kitchen table.
Right, yeah, but you had met her.
Mm-hmm.
But and it, I can say also that she shared the love of Jesus with me and helped me to grasp hold of that love.
Amen.
So I'm so sorry that, it's just a tragedy for us as a family and friends and people that knew her. And I just, I know we certainly are missing her, but we all have that hope, Lord, and that we'll be together again. And we all look forward to that. I just pray that each one will choose to love and trust in the Lord like SarahAnn did.
Amen.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
Can y'all hear me through the mask? Okay. I don't know how long ago it was that we met her, but we were invited, James and I were invited up here for church. And it was when your father was still alive, and we went to church. I remember the service still, the friendliness of everybody that came.
Mm-hmm.
And after that evening, we spent a Sabbath together. And she showed us the garden and how she tended to the worms, and that grew. And several years later, we ended up bringing our grandchildren up here, and they had a great time. And she, like everyone's saying, she had the love of Christ in her. When you spoke to her, you were loved, and you could tell that she loved nature, and many of her lessons that she showed me, I've done at home. Not now, but had been in the past, and we just really loved her and your father and your whole family and everyone here. I can't remember everybody's names because we live so far away, but we love all of y'all.
Thank you, Julie.
I'll stay on this.
Sarah?
I pretty much got to spend every day with Grandma. Every single day. From 8 o'clock in the morning till late in the evening. And there wasn't a day that wasn't just pure joy. That's the only way you can describe it. There's just joy. And she raised all my kids, starting with John Douglas, all the way down to Clyde. And she loved you all. She was seeing everybody at church. Everybody was such a blessing to her, and all she ever wanted to be is a blessing to others.
Amen.
Every day we talked and laughed, and I got to see her in some of her most candid moments. She was my best friend, and not a lot of people just about everything I could possibly know from my grandmother. And I hope one day that I can show everybody how much I just love her. She was my best friend.
Sarah, anybody knew that you loved your grandmother. If you ever come over here, Miss Sarah was gonna come to Sarah's house. If Sarah was never at home, I would go over to Miss Sarah's house and visit with her. And she would tell me all the time, she'd say, Dana, I'm so glad you're Sarah's friend. I called her grandma too. And I was in a real bad car wreck, and I know that all y'all's church prayed for me. I know Miss Sarah prayed for me. She financed, her and Mr. Ellis financed a ramp for my house so that I could get in my house when I had my wreck, and Harley built it. But I know it was a tragic accident, but Miss Sarah was playing in the dirt. And I loved her. I love all of y'all. I don't know all of y'all, but I know the family. But I know Sarah's gonna miss her the most.
We remember praying for you. Is there anybody else? We don't want to miss anyone.
There's someone that's not here today because they were not able to come, but he just slipped my name. Kevin from Jasper. We told him about the situation, and he wanted to pass on that how wonderful a person she was, and that he really had enjoyed meeting her, and he just said she's beautiful, a beautiful personality, and so since he can't be here today, I wanted to pass that on to the family.
Good afternoon, everyone. Many of you don't know us. We are the Ropkas. We've been attending the chapel for the last 4 years. So what we know and understand of SarahAnn may be a different perspective than many of you who have known her for quite some time, but we would like to share our appreciation of SarahAnn at this time.
Yes. She was a very special lady, and we loved her so much. And we always looked forward to seeing her every Sabbath, and she was always here every Sabbath, which was such a blessing. I remember one time when the first Sabbath I was here, and I went up and I said, I'll help get the dishes done. And she said, no, we just put them in the soapy water in the dish pan, and I do them on Sunday. So I learned my lesson. That was different, because we always had to clean up from church. Then, one other thing I did was I made scrubbies for everybody. Scrubbies are little things that when you're trying to clean off your dishes, it, cleans them off easy. So I gave SarahAnn one for the church, and I gave her one for her house. And she just loved that. And one day, she had her dishwater, and she threw it out and didn't realize that her scrubby was in it. So Kay came over to visit her a day or so later. I don't remember what it was.
It was like months. It was a couple of months. It was a
Months.
while,
Oh,
yeah.
she didn't say anything.
Yeah.
But Kay found her little scrubby and gave it to her. And she was so excited to get it again.
It was
But
hanging
when I
in
found out,
it was hanging in a rose bush.
Yeah.
She had watered the rose bush with the water from that she had washed dishes with.
You don't want to waste the water.
That's right.
The depression child.
so I decided, okay, we can't have that happen again. So I gave her another one, so she had two, so she would always have one. And then she said to me, every time I use that scrubby, I pray for you guys. And that was just so special, just so special. Oh, sorry. And then I found out that she likes sweet stuff. And she always enjoyed the desserts I made. And so I would watch her as she would come up to the dessert table, and she'd kind of look over at me, and she'd get her dessert, and then she'd get that gleam in her eye, and it was always so neat. I really enjoyed her. I loved her so much, and the Lord just shone out of her life, and it just, her and I spent time in the kitchen talking a lot of times, and that was so special. We're going to miss her a lot, but we know she's waiting, resting until Jesus comes.
Amen.
Amen.
Just to add on to that a little bit, in my life experience, I enjoy watching and studying people, their body language, their mannerisms, and what have you. And one of the things I realized very quickly about SarahAnn is that she had a saintly attitude about her. The way she walked, the way she talked, how she presented herself, it overwhelmed me to realize that I could, without her saying anything, I knew she had a walk with the Lord. I knew there was a real relationship there. There was such a tangible thing. And from that standpoint, I enjoyed being around her. That type of people it's a magnet for me anyway. One of the other things I realized about SarahAnn is that she likes to be organized. Okay, we had some meetings and what have you, and I knew she was organized. She had all of her ducks lined up in a row, and she went right through it, and that was such a privilege to see in a person's understanding. The other thing that I didn't realize totally about SarahAnn was the degree of her humor. Okay, one Sabbath I was at church and I was talking with her, and somehow I think we got talking about getting old. And she made the statement, she says, yeah, she says, when I got old, she says, I realized that everything that was up here slid right down to here. and with that, she gave that little smile, that gleam in her eye came out again, and off she walked. And I just had to chuckle to myself. That was precious. I'd like to share, Robin, with you something that someone shared with me. 14 years ago, my mother passed, and this person came and sent me an email with this little message in it. And it has meant a lot to me over the years to realize what this person shared. And this comment comes out of a little book called Early Writings. Okay? And it's on page 285. And the chapter which I think is appropriate, it's titled Deliverance of the Saints. So I think that gives some positive feelings right there as to what's going to be said. But in that book, one of the things that the author writes about is that there's going to be something special happening for those who die in the Lord. Okay? And basically what it is that there's going to be a special resurrection, folks. Okay? And I firmly believe that my mom, SarahAnn, Beth's mother, are going to experience this situation. And this is what it says. There was a mighty earthquake. The graves were opened, and those who had died in faith under the third angel's message, keeping the Sabbath, came forth from their dusty beds, glorified, to hear the covenant of peace that God was to make with those who had kept his law. And if you read the whole chapter, you realize that this resurrection was even before Christ was actually appearing, because they will be raised to be able to see that white cloud coming, okay, and to experience the joy that they've had in their hearts about the blessed hope, the message that we have, that God has given to us through his Son Jesus. And I hope that, because many times I reflect about my mom, this thought comes to me from what Sister White has shared with us. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you take out the song sheet again, the second song is Turn Your Eyes Upon Jesus, and we want to sing that now. This song has a complete story. Listen to the story. Oh soul, are you weary and troubled? No light in the darkness you see. There's light for a look at the Savior, and life more abundant and free. Turn your eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. Through death into life everlasting, he passed and we follow him there. O'er us sin no more hath dominion, for more than conquerors we are. Turn your eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. His word shall not fail you, he promised. Believe him and all will be well. Don't go to a world that is dying, his perfect salvation to tell. Turn your eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. Caleb and Swanee, there they are. I'm going to ask you to come now. They're going to have special music for us.
Caleb. Tell everybody about this song and how y'all got asked to play it and sing it.
The title of this song is Still, Still With Thee. The lyrics were written by Harriet Beecher Stowe, and the melody is an arrangement from Felix Mendelssohn. I had never heard this song before until Miss SarahAnn one time requested that it be done for church. And so she asked Swanee and I to learn it and do it as a special music for church, and we